Ben from Chicago, Illinois writes, I'm just beginning my hi-fi journey and I want to build a high-end audio system. All right, a newcomer to the family. I love it. I'm looking at a number of different paths, but one question pops up all the time. Where should I place what little funds I have? Should I put the bulk of my budget into speakers, since that's where the sound ultimately comes from? Or should I prioritize the electronics like the DAC, preamp, or amp, since those are shaping the signal? I know synergy matters, but in practical terms, what's the smartest investment when starting from scratch? Well, we've been through this before. It's worth going through again. Loudspeakers. No question about it. Absolutely. Loudspeakers. And Ivor Tiefenbrom from Lynn and I certainly disagree. And you know what? Life's all about people's opinions and experiences. And in my experience, nothing makes more difference than the loudspeaker. And the reason why, it's kind of obvious. The loudspeaker is the most flawed piece inside of the system, where amps and preamps are accurate to tenths of a dB. Speakers are accurate to within multiple dBs, right? And phase problems, they're just, if you released a piece of electronics that measured like a speaker, you'd be thrown out of the industry on your ear. So definitely start by putting every dime you have into a great pair of loudspeakers, and then slowly building up the system as you can and go along. Now, the danger in doing that, and this is where I want to caution people, a great pair, take our Aspen loudspeakers, for example. They're great sounding, they're easy to set up, you put them in, they work, you're going to get imaging all over the map, and you can set them up in 20 minutes, and off you go, right? They are a very revealing speaker, and they're going to reveal any kind of flaws you have in the electronics. Now, that said, I've heard a pair of Aspen speakers with our little Sprout integrated. I've heard it with off-the-shelf, something from Best Buy that was a $200 or $300 receiver. They still sounded really good. They weren't resolving. They weren't what I would consider something to get excited about, but they made music that was not only listenable, enjoyable. And I got to tell you, you buy the wrong speakers, even if you spend a whole lot of money, they can be ear-splitting. One of the reasons we built the Aspen speakers, and this is something not just the Aspens, but for those of you that have followed this channel, that have followed me over the last 50-something years, know that one of my chief complaints about being a high-end audio manufacturer for so many years has been loudspeakers. Because we're an electronics manufacturer, have been for years, started out in 1974. And during that time, because we didn't make our own speakers, we were forced for obvious reasons, to use other manufacturers' speakers. And that was a struggle, because I couldn't find anything at any price that just rocked my boat. You all know what I've owned Magnaplaners, I've owned the Infinity IRS-5, I've owned Revel Salons, I've owned, Focals, I had some Vandersteens, Acoustats, Martin Logans. I've been through the gamut, and all of them had their qualities that were wonderful. And I enjoyed them, but very soon their shortcomings became obvious. And one of the bigger problems as a manufacturer is our customers would, and they still do today, what do you recommend for speakers? At least now I can tell them, easy, Aspens. Chris Brunhaber took everything that he knew, and he's one of the best speaker designers in the world, and said, all right, Paul, what is it you want? What's going to float your boat? And I told him, planar mid-ranges, planar tweeters, awesome bass, wide coverage, easy to set up, and image to the point where they just disappear and never get me going, turn the volume down. I want to always crank the volume up. That's the mark of a great speaker. And until the Aspens came out, literally, and to this day, nothing has come close. So, yeah, it's speakers. Go for the speakers. They don't have to be Aspens. I mean, there's plenty of great speakers out there. And, you know, part of it, sorry, I'm going to ramble on for one more sec. Part of it's like food. Terry and I are vegetarians, as you know, and we're also foodies. I don't eat at McDonald's, even if they had a veggie burger, because it's crap. I'm sorry. I don't do crap. And I want to put healthy food in my body. I want stuff that tastes good. And yeah, I like the little tiny toy portions from a chef that make something extraordinary where you just go, oh my God. I'm a foodie. And so when we're traveling, we'll ask people, hey, are there any good restaurants around? Now, we used to fall under the trap where people would go, oh, God, yeah. I mean, you got to try this place, you know, and like, oh, okay. With a recommendation like that, how could we go wrong? Well, their tastes and our tastes clearly don't match. And we were like, who in the world could think this is great? Well, we all have our opinions and our tastes. So take everything I say with a true grain of salt, because your tastes may not be my tastes. And it's one of the reasons why people show up here for tours. They want to see, how do our tastes line up? Is what Paul's saying really true? And you come and you find out for yourself. Okay, enough rambling. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.